Hi, Storyman Mark Cater, and I'm your guide for Senior Moves, the art of aging gracefully. Yes, today we're going to go back to do some foot patterns, remind you what we did in the last program, foot patterns, and also continue to work on your balance. So what do you need today? You need to maybe be without shoes on. I always prefer to do these exercises without shoes. And also you may need to have a chair or be by a wall so that you can use those things as props, which is very important, right? You're going to be working to the front and to the back again, and we're going to go along and walk on a tightrope too. I know. Maybe you can get a job with Cirque du Soleil later. Let's get started. So grab your chair or wall space, and here we go. So grab your chair if you needed to, or a wall, whatever you like, and just so you have it handy. So we're going to continue to build on what we've already done. So just standing with your feet parallel, right? So we're going to try to be a little more idealistic about how we stand with our feet. So when I say parallel, I don't mean the inner part of your foot parallel here at the arches, but I mean the outer part of the foot parallel. When you do that, you have to go up into your hips, and that you may feel that you're bringing those hips around a little bit and opening up that way, all right? And so just pause there for a moment, focus on your breath like we always do. Feel the fullness of your breath. If you can, inhale, exhale through the nose, but you can inhale and exhale any way that allows you to have a nice full breath. The other thing to think about is, how is your head balanced at the top of your spine? I know many of us are a little bit round-shouldered, right, from being at the computer all the time, and the head's jutted forward. Remember, when we move in space, we want to move from our center here, your dantian, right, somewhere in your center. So where's your center? If you take a moment, put your thumb in your navel, right, and right there, underneath your palm, just above the pubic bone, when you move, that's where you're trying to move from. So you're sending the energy forward there, right? Okay, so you've been focusing on your breath this whole time. Now let's just do a couple of spinal rolls. Once again, starting with the top of your head, reach forward, bend your knees and roll down your spine. And then inhale, roll up the spine. Now as you're doing this, and just keep going, as you're doing this, exhaling down, inhaling up, notice what's happening with your legs. Are you able to keep your knees in line, or you feel like your knees are wanting to wobble out? So you're trying to maintain a sense of connection from your big toe through the arch of your foot, your heel, through that inner leg, inner sitting bones, right up through the pelvic floor and through the crown of your head. Let's do two more. Exhale, rolling down. Inhale, rolling up. And remember too, how far can you take it? Do you need to have a hand down? Maybe you only go to your knees. Last one, coming all the way up. And very good. Let's go down to our feet now, and let's work the feet out. So with one heel up and then the other heel up, going back and forth. Once again, you may use your hand on the chair, arching and working through those arches of your feet. Yes, good. And then soften the knees. Let's take the hips a little side to side. And then from side to side, bring it forward and back. Right, we've already been doing this, so we're just trying to repeat this because I found that this can be a really good thing to loosen up your back, to loosen up the tightness in your hips. And then play with your hula hoops, circle your hula hoops around. I wish I had a nickel for every time somebody told me, I can't move my hips that way. But maybe if you focus on it a little bit and give yourself a little bit of time as you change, go the other way, maybe you can find that you can find how the heads of the femurs move around with a little bit of movement in your legs, connected to the pelvic floor and all the way up to your head. And very good. So let's just start right away today. So you may use your hand here, right? So last time we did a leg swing, so we're going to start with that, just a few of them. So you can have your hand on the chair, and you're just going to swing the leg front and back. Your foot can brush the floor. Also, are you barefooted? I hope so. I didn't mention that earlier because you should start to have that in your mind that you're going to do this work as much as possible barefooted. Now you may have foot issues. where you are required to wear a shoe, then please make sure you do that. Good. And then we're just going to switch, face the other way. And again, just swing forward and back. And very nice. Let's do the same thing with our shoulders. So with the idea of dropping to the front and back. And then take the arm around in a circle. Now you may have range of motion issues. Maybe your circle is down here more. Maybe you can go all the way up and over the top, right? So you're nice sense of swinging, and again, you can go slow or you can have a little giddy up. I like to do it like this, with a little bit of energy coming up from my feet. And then reverse, take it around the other way again. Grab that air behind you and bring it around to the front. Inhale, exhale. And take the arm all the way up and drop it. All right, other side. Again, you can use that hand if you need to. Otherwise, just arm to the front, drop it to the back. And you're having that little bit of swinging action from your feet. Let's take it around in a circle again. It can be a nice slow circle. You can add a little giddy up to it. And then reverse, take it around the other way. Now your shoulders should be pretty warmed up by now. But let's do two other things here. First, lace your fingers together, right? And we're going to bring the heels of the hands together if you can. Reach those elbows out and see if you can bring these inner elbows around to the front. So rather than leaving the elbows out here, extend through the front. Keep that sense of reaching through your thumbs, scoop the belly, and just round your back. Breathe up between the shoulder blades and along your spine, tucking the pelvis. And then bring it up. Let the arms come down. And we're going to take the arms to the back for the second part. Now you may use a strap or a towel here, just like we did last time. So if you're using the strap or towel, you may hold it where you feel you can have your hands the closest together. And that's what you want to do. Otherwise, you may lace your fingers together like you did to the front, but to the back. Your heels of your hands may be together or apart, and you want to reach back and just open up the chest here. And you can lift right up through the hips, right up through the belly, and you might find yourself looking straight ahead, or you may look up at the ceiling or even behind you. And you should feel like your lower back is open, not compressing. If you do back out of it a little bit, you still need to practice to figure out how to do that properly. And then bring it center and release. Okay, so we're going to open to close the door of the hip. So when you do this, again, where are you moving from? We're trying to free up the hip joint. So if I have my knee straight in front of me, open the hip, close the hip. So what's not moving is my left hip, but my right hip is the one that's opening. Like I can keep my knee here and swing from my hip here, but no, that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to open and close the door, and I want you to flex your foot and then bring it off to the side. Now we're going to take, if you had a pen or pencil right here on your knee, we're going to take it into a figure 8, right? Figure 8. And good, and now let's take the figure 8 around the other way. And this is the way that usually gets people a little confused in their brain. I don't think I can do this, but just practice. Eventually you'll get it. Again, you're trying to minimize the movement so you're nice and tall through that left hip or right hip, depending on which is the foot there. And then set it down and shake it out. All right, let's switch to the other side. So face the other way on the chair, right? Or the wall, or again, you can do this freestanding, right? So the leg comes up, you can have your hand on your knee here if you want, because we do some work with the hand on the knee. And then we're just going to open the door or open the gate, close the gate. Again, from the stability here, You're having that sense of length at the top of the head. Yes. Just a couple more times. Make sure you're breathing. I like to inhale here, exhale here. And now let's take a figure 8. Again, if you had a pencil taped to your knee, you'd make a figure 8. And you're going to notice, whoa, maybe you're working in that glute, your leg is not used to doing this, right? And then take it around the opposite way. Again, that figure 8 action. And if you are using your hand on a chair, try not to have a death grip. You shouldn't feel like your knuckles are turning white. It's just a very loose grip. And shake it out. Shifting to the other leg. We're going to take the leg in a circle, and this is to build strength through your glutes. So, take your foot to the back and just bring your heel by your butt. And then you're going to bring the knee around right where we were a moment ago, and then bring it to the front. Take it straight to the back, circle around to the front. Back, around to the front, back, around to the front, back, around to the front. One more, back, around to the front. Good, now, let's bring it to the front. Now we're going to open the door like we did, but now see if you can lift your foot and keep the knee up and circle that leg all the way around, and this is the one that gets people here. And then bring the leg straight forward. Bring it around. Keep your heel towards your butt. Just a couple more times. But this rotation here, really start to work those rotators in your glute. You want to try to finish with the knee behind your other knee, if you can. Last one. And rest. Good, other side. So, foot is behind, with the heel to your butt. And you're just going to open it, and here we go right off to the side where we were before, and it comes to the center. Just circling around. Keep your foot engaged so you can point your foot or flex your foot. One more. Then we're going to go the other way, right? Knee to the front, take it around. Now here, you're trying to roll the head of the femur in the hip socket here. Bring it around behind, get that glute going, and then bring it to the front. And around. Keep that lift in the heart. You may find that you're barely, this is the one where people usually drop their knee when they take it around, so you really want to work at rotating in that hip. Just one more time. And release. Good. And shake it out. So once again, you may need to have your chair handy to work on the foot patterns. We're going to review a little bit what we did last time, right? We kind of did reaching high and low, stepping front and back and side to side. But we're going to add on to that today. So, you can just figure out which foot you want to start with, because we're going to be changing sides. So, take one foot forward, second foot comes up, touch, and back and touch. So just take it forward and touch, and back and touch. And again, if you need to, the hand can just slide along your chair, and you don't have to take a big step. If you want a little more of a challenge, you can take that big step. You are moving, right? Moving, pushing with your foot, pushing with your foot, finding that foot, embracing the earth for your balance. Last one. All right, so we had the first foot you step with, we call that the lead leg. Now we're going to lead with the other foot. Again, you can start very small, and you're just tapping your foot. Just think of tapping your foot. Tap. Again, you don't have to take a big step. It can be a very small step. As you start to become a little more confident, you can try taking a bigger step. Again, moving from here rather than leading with your head. And good. Again, shake it out. So let's take the step side to side, right? So same idea. Step, touch, step, touch. That's it. Touch and touch. Again, you can go slower. If you're standing in a chair, you can face the chair. Just let your hands slide along. It helps to keep your head up, right? So you're not looking at your feet. I know my feet are down there somewhere. Where are they? No, just keep looking up here. Just feel how the body moves. And bringing it back to the center, shaking it out. Okay, let's put one foot in front and the other foot back, just a short step. So what we're going to do here is reach low towards your foot. So keep the legs straight if you can. That may be impossible for you, so working with a bent leg is fine. Scoop and hollow, and just let your hands maybe slide down your leg. Maybe you get to your knee, maybe you get to your shin or ankle, maybe you come all the way, touch the floor, and then just come all the way back up again, right from your center, so you're feeling your tailbone bring you right up. Now at the top, you can give a little lift, and just reaching it over and down. Inhale when you come up. Again, you may do half as many as I'm demonstrating. Always feel safe. And once again, you can always use your chair too, right? So you could use your hand here, right? And you may not go so far, right? So again, whatever you need to do for yourself, that's what you should do. And some of it is you're just educating yourself as you go, because maybe you've never done any of this before, right? So remember, you're always studying. You're the big petri dish. You're studying yourself. You're the mad scientist, right? And your body and how you move in space. And as you learn the art of moving, right? All right, so other foot in front. Same idea here. If you need to bend the knees, that's fine. Otherwise, extend your legs and try to release at your hip joint by lifting into your hips. Let the hands slide down towards your foot. And then just inhale, come all the way back up again. Again, you may use your hand on the chair. You may not go very far at all. It helps to focus your eyes somewhere. That helps so you don't get dizzy. Let's just do two more. Inhale, come up. And good, again, shake it out. All right, so we're gonna alternate picking the knees up. So the knee comes up. You may touch your knee with both hands and then set it down. You may, you just wanna do one side at a time and pick it up and set it down. Pick it up and set it down. Otherwise, alternate sides. And see, as you do this, see if you can feel how your foot embraces the floor. You have that sense of length here. And by touching your leg, you're including the connection in your shoulders through your center in a slightly different way than if you let things float. Good. Just one more time. If you're at the chair, switch sides. And very, very good. All right, so let's do a little walking. Forward and back. You may need to walk with your hand at a wall. You may even have a walker, right? But the idea here is, and if you have a walker and you need somebody to be by your side at your elbow, please make sure you do that. But see if you can lift your heels up and down a little bit so you're taking the weight toward the front of your foot, right? So if you ever played track or ran track or whatever, the sprinters were the ones that were toward the front of their foot, right? Like I was a sprinter. Back in the day, I was a sprinter. Okay, now, but even when you're the long distance runners too, you're not trying to crash on your heel, you're still trying to set the foot down so that you're toward the front of the foot anyway, all right? Okay, so let's just go ahead and be a little bit forward. And again, let's see if you can lift your heels and walk on your toes. You don't have to do very far, forward and backwards. Again, your hand can be on a wall or a table. Forward and backward. All right? So feel that buoyancy in your legs and feel how your core is engaged because you have your heels off the floor, when the heels are down, the core may not be engaged the same way for balance. And very good. And shake out your feet again. All right, so moving through space, the idea is to work from here. Now, one of the things too people have a problem with when they get older, especially, is stepping backwards. So anytime you can work on your backward steps, no matter how careful you are, do it, right? You can be as careful as you want. You can keep your feet wider apart as you do it. Now we're going to see about walking on a tightrope. So you see the wood floor here, and you may have a wood floor, and again you can have your hand by the wall if you want. So if I were to put one foot in front of the other, so I have my heel to my toe, that's what you're trying to do. Trying to not lock the knees, a little bit of buoyancy in the legs, a little bit of flexion in the knees, and then again you're reaching forward with your hips, and you just shift your foot. Heel to toe, or heel to toe, heel to toe, heel to toe, right? And focus, again, not down on your feet, but look out here somewhere and focus on a spot. Make sure you're breathing, because you don't want to hold your breath, right? So if you have a hallway in your home, that's a great place to go, because then you have a nice length of room that you can walk down. And then, of course, there's going backwards. And again, this can be the scary part. You may find at the beginning you're still going to walk with your feet a little wider, because you have to bring those inner thighs together. And again, you're not sticking your butt out to go back, but you're leading with your back of your head, the back of your shoulders, right, and your hips. That's all going back at the same time. Make sure you breathe. Back, heel to toe, heel to toe, heel to toe. And practice that, right? And there you go. So we walked a little bit front to back, right? We did that little step touch, shifting. Now if you want to add a little balance on this, you can always pick your foot up, right? Pick your foot up. Pick your foot up. Same when you step to the side. Step, tap, or you can pick your foot up. Even if you touch the foot, you can still pick it up. So always experimenting. How can you move? Like I just had you keep your arms very quiet. But you could have a different kind of arm here, right? You could explore how you use your arms. Just like, in Tai Chi, the idea of moving from your center, or Qigong. And we're going to do a little Tai Chi-esque movement pretty soon. All right? So, forward and back, side to side. Again, continue to work your feet. Point and flash, circle, right? Inversion and eversion. And if this seems unfamiliar to you, go back to a previous video where I did some specific foot exercises for you. Okay, that's it for today. So thank you very much for watching. I'm Storyman Mark Cater. This is Senior Moves, the art of aging gracefully. And if you really enjoyed what you've been seeing, please hit the like button. If you have questions, I really appreciate getting questions, because then I know somebody's watching, but also that you're paying attention and you want to know how best to work for yourself. And I can maybe help you out with that. All right? So thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Ta-ta.